Welcome back to the deep dive. We're here to cut through the noise, give you the insights you need.
That's the goal.
So today we're talking about something I think, well, a lot of us feel, that desire for financial independence.
Oh, definitely. That feeling of wanting more than just the paycheck to paycheck cycle.
Yeah, exactly. Like maybe feeling a bit stuck in a routine that isn't really getting you where you want to go, ambition-wise.
And we hear the usual advice, don't we?
All the time. Get a good job, save your money, buy a house. You know the drill.
But what if there's another way to think about money? A completely different perspective.
That's the big question. This idea of true financial agency, not just earning, but like building something where your money actually works for you.
Yeah, moving from just being, an employee in the system to being the one designing your own financial future. A big shift.
It really is. And to kind of explore that shift, we're doing a deep dive today into, well, probably one of the most popular personal finance books ever. Hugely influential.
You mean Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad?
That's the one. Rich Dad, Poor Dad, a financial mindset shift. Now look, for many of you listening, especially if you're already into personal finance, some of these ideas might sound, well, pretty basic now.
Sure, some concepts have become mainstream.
Right. But what's really interesting about this book is how it just boils down these complex ideas into something really accessible. It often sparks this crucial mindset change, even for people who've been investing for a while.
It's not about the how-to and the weeds, is it? No spreadsheets here.
Not at all. It's more of a story. A really compelling one, actually, based on the contrast between two totally different ways of thinking about money.
And Kiyosaki personifies these brilliantly, doesn't he? Through his two dads.
Exactly. You've got his poor dad, that's his biological father, highly educated, government job, respected.
But always struggling with money.
Yeah, perpetually.
Yeah.
And then there's the rich dad, his friend's dad. A businessman, not traditionally educated like the other dad.
But full of this, street-smart financial sense.
Right.
Real-world wisdom.
And that contrast, that's not just a gimmick. It's really the heart of the book's message.
It really is. It sets up the whole argument.
So our mission today, let's unpack these core lessons. Let's figure out the mindset shifts Kiyosaki is pushing for.
Understand why it's had such staying power.
Right. And what it really offers anyone listening who wants to maybe change how they look at money, wealth, and, getting financially independent.
Okay, so where do we start? Those contrasting viewpoints seem key.
Yeah, let's lay those out first, because they really do set the stage. Kiyosaki paints this really vivid picture, two totally different approaches to life and money.
Embodied by these two father figures. And it's not just about how much they earned, it's deeper. It's the whole philosophy behind their financial choices.
Okay, so on one side, you've got the poor dad. His advice is, well, it's the advice most of us probably got growing up.
The conventional path.
Totally. Go to school, get good grades, find a secure job, with benefits, save money carefully, buy a house eventually.
And Kiyosaki emphasizes this dad was smart, highly educated. Right.
Yeah, advanced degrees, respected intellectually, but still consistently facing money problems. His whole focus was on job security, climbing the ladder.
Grading time for money, essentially.
Exactly. Direct trade.
And look, that path provides stability for many. It's not inherently wrong.
No, of course not. But Kiyosaki throws this alternative out there, the rich dad's mindset, and it's radically different.
Completely. It's all about build businesses, buy assets, make your money work for you.
So this dad, the entrepreneur, he wasn't relying on his diplomas.
No. He relied on understanding how money actually works, how markets work, how people work with money.
And the key difference isn't just how they made money, it's what they did with it, how they thought about it.
That's it. And right from the start, that contrast just makes you stop and question your own assumptions about money, things you've maybe always believed.
It definitely does, and that questioning, it leads straight into what I think is maybe the most powerful lesson in the book.
Which one's that for you?
The rich don't work for money.
Yes. That one always gets attention. It sounds provocative.
It does, because we're all taught, you have to work for money. How else does it work?
Right.
But Kiyosaki wants you to totally redefine what work means in this context. It's not just clocking in and out for a wage. It's a whole perspective shift.
What he's really getting at is moving away from relying solely on your own labor, your salary, towards building things, acquiring things of assets that generate income by themselves.
So your investments, your businesses, whatever capital you have, that's what's making more money, not just you trading hours.
Exactly. So you gradually disconnect your time from how much you earn. And that's a huge mental leap for a lot of people. It challenges that deep-seated work ethic we all have.
It really does. It goes against the grain of how we're taught society functions. So, okay, if the goal is shifting to make money work for you, how do you even start that?
Well, Kiyosaki's answer is pretty clear. Financial education.
Right. But a specific kind of financial education, the kind he argues we often don't get in school.
Yeah, that's a major theme. He points out, look, schools are great at teaching academics, reading, writing, math, history, all essential.
Foundational stuff.
But they often completely miss the practical side of money. How to manage it, how investing works, how business is really run behind the scenes.
It's like this big blind spot.
And he argues this leaves even really smart, well-educated people kind of vulnerable financially. They know their field, but not how money works.
So learning about investing, understanding taxes, not just how to pay them, but how the system works, grasping business basics. Kiyosaki says this isn't just for specialists.
No, he frames it as absolutely essential for actually building wealth. Without that knowledge, you're always playing defense, reacting.
Instead of being proactive, building, growing.
That proactive approach is everything. And that brings us neatly to another core idea. Seems simple, but it's huge.
Let me guess. Assets versus liabilities.
You got it. That distinction. And it's not about complex accounting definitions. It's about understanding money flow in your life.
He keeps it super simple, which I think is why it sticks. An asset
Is something that puts money in your pocket. Simple as that.
Right. Think about it. A rental property bringing in rent checks each month.
Dividend stocks paying you out.
A profitable business you own. These things add to your cash flow. They build your wealth.
And the flip side, a liability.
Is something that takes money out of your pocket.
Again, super clear. That big mortgage payment every month.
Or the payments on that fancy car that's losing value every day.
These things drain your cash. And the core idea Kiyosaki hammers home is build wealth by consistently adding assets.
The things that pay you.
And reducing liabilities.
Yeah.
The things you pay for. It's about controlling the direction of the money flow. Make sure it's flowing to you, mostly.
It's so clear when you put it that way. It forces you to look at everything differently. Your house, your car, your subscriptions.
Exactly. And for you listening, maybe pause and think. What in your life actually puts money in your pocket? And what just takes it out month after month? This book makes you do that inventory.
Absolutely. And building on that, Kiyosaki really champions entrepreneurship and investing, which, let's face it, involves taking risks.
And this is where the Rich Dad way really departs from the Poor Dad's focus on safety and security.
How so?
Well, Kiyosaki points out the built-in limits of a traditional job. It might be stable, sure, but your income is usually capped by your salary. You're always trading time for dollars.
1-to-1, basically.
Pretty much. But building a business or making smart investments, that offers scalable wealth. The potential for your income to grow way beyond the hours you put in. It's about leverage, using systems, using capital.
Leverage is a powerful idea. But then there's the risk factor. Kiyosaki really pushes back against our natural tendency to avoid risk, doesn't he?
He does. He argues that if you avoid all risk, you're automatically avoiding the biggest opportunities for growth.
And failure.
He sees failure as just part of the process, essential even. You learn from it, you adjust, you try again. It's how you get smarter.
But, okay, for someone starting out, that's scary. The line between a calculated risk and just being reckless feels thin. How does he suggest people handle that fear, the fear of losing?
Well, he doesn't offer like a simple trick. It's more about changing how you think about risk.
Okay.
The poor dad mindset sees risk as bad, something to run from. The rich dad sees it as something to be understood, managed, and learned from.
So education is the key to managing risk.
That's a huge part of it. The more you learn about an investment, a market, a type of business, the less risky it feels because you understand the factors involved. It's not about eliminating fear, but about acting intelligently despite the fear because you've done your homework.
That makes sense. Being informed reduces the unknown. Now, we've talked about how influential this book is, but it's fair to say it has strengths and weaknesses, right? We should probably touch on those.
Absolutely. Important to have a balanced view. Its strengths are pretty clear, and they explain its massive success.
Top of the list for me. Accessibility. It's just so easy to understand. Even if you know nothing about finance, Kiyosaki makes these potentially intimidating ideas feel graspable. No dense jargon.
Definitely. And linked to that is its inspirational power. It genuinely motivates people, millions of people, to think differently, to question that standard path.
It shifts the focus from just earning a living to actively building wealth, thinking about financial freedom.
And the way he uses stories, those real-life examples, even if, maybe some are a bit simplified or
And
dramatized,
for effect.
they make the lesson stick. They're relatable, memorable, almost like modern parables.
Yeah, they are. But what about the criticisms? Because you hear those too.
We should definitely address those. A big one is the lack of practical, step-by-step advice.
Right. It tells you what to think, but not exactly how to do it.
Precisely. It's about the mindset, the concepts, assets, liabilities, cash flow. But it doesn't give you a detailed roadmap for, say, analyzing a rental property or choosing specific stocks.
That's more philosophy than a field manual.
Exactly. And another point critics often bring up, and it's worth mentioning, is that Kiyosaki himself made a lot of his money from the books, the seminars, the brand.
Rather than solely from the real estate or businesses he talks about in the book.
Right. It's part of the story, important context. Does it invalidate the core message? Maybe not entirely, but it's a fair point people raise.
So the takeaway is understand what the book is and what it isn't.
That's crucial. It's not a technical finance textbook. It's a book designed to change your mindset.
Which leads to the question, who should actually read this? Who gets the most out of it?
Well, I think it's pretty clear. Definitely beginners, people just starting to think about personal finance investing.
Someone who needs that foundational shift in how they even look at money.
Exactly. Also, maybe young professionals, people trying to figure out how their career fits into building long-term wealth. That confusion between job security and financial freedom.
Yeah, I can see that.
And really, anyone who feels stuffed financially, anyone who feels like they've been following the rules but aren't getting ahead, and they need a totally fresh perspective, a new way to think about the whole game.
Okay, so let's wrap this up. Thinking about everything we've discussed, what's the lasting value here for you listening?
Well, I think the biggest thing Rich Dad, Poor Dad achieves, its real legacy, is just getting millions of people to question the default path.
The rat race, as he calls it.
Exactly. It makes them seriously consider financial independence, think about passive income, maybe even dip their toes into entrepreneurship, instead of just assuming the 9-to-5 is the only option. It opens up possibilities.
So for that reason alone, it's significant.
Hugely significant. So rating-wise, for beginners, for that mindset shift, I'd agree a strong 4 out of 5 stars seems fair. It's a fantastic catalyst.
But with a caveat.
Yes, a
Yeah.
crucial one. Because it's about the why and the what, not the how. You absolutely need to pair it with more practical guides.
Like what? Any recommendations?
Sure. For solid investing principles, maybe something classic like Benjamin Graham's The Intelligent Investor. For actionable steps on personal finance, maybe Ramit Sethi's I Will Teach You to Be Rich. Books that give you the concrete tools.
Okay, so Rich Dad, Poor Dad sparks the fire, but you need other resources to actually build the engine.
That's a great way to put it. It changes your thinking, then you need the practical guides to help you act on that new thinking.
Makes sense. So as we finish up, here's something to chew on for the week ahead. A final thought for you.
Okay?
If Kiyosaki's right, if the rich truly don't work for money in the traditional sense, and if that specific financial education is so vital, what's just one small piece of financial knowledge you could try to learn this week?
Or maybe one tiny step towards building an asset, even
Okay.
just researching an idea.
Exactly. Something small to start making your money begin to work, even just a little bit for you. Think about that.
Good question to ponder.
We'll leave you with that. See you next time on The Deep Dive.